Oh my goodness, we're here again for another fabulous show. This is the Stream Show, and man, I have Glinnesa here with me today, and I'm so happy to have you. So from now on, we're going to be calling you GG because I know that's your nickname that we use in the community. Thank you for coming today.
That's perfectly fine. Gigi works, and thank you for having me. I think it's our second go around, so
It is. This is actually
starting to become a
part
little
two.
regular now.
Yeah. Part two of our, I guess, copyright conversation. So let me say this, people: if you, as you are coming in today and making your comments, let me know where you're watching from, and of course, if you have any questions about copyrights, whether you're watching this right now or in the replay, just put it in the comments, and we'll try our best to answer your questions tonight. This is going to be fun. Awesome. Wood Thing says hello. Thank you for coming through tonight. Hello to you. Gigi, I know things are always busy for lawyers. What's going on in your world?
So, lawyers are lawyering, of course.
Right, right.
There's always something going on. But one of the things I do want to get into before we go into copyrights is more of what's happening in the business world because, as creators, we have our companies, um, whether it be our LLCs or INCs. Some creators are nonprofits, depending on what it is that they're trying to do and their mission and vision. But if you're an LLC, I really want to bring your attention to the Corporate Transparency Act. This was enacted starting the 1st of January of this year. And just to give you a quick overview, the whole purpose is that this is a federal act, but it's being trickled down to the states.
Okay.
And so what's happening is that they are requiring LLC owners to register their to register their accounts. And the reason why you have to register and you got to pay a fee because everything is with a fee.
Right.
Is the whole purpose is to make sure that or to cut down on money laundering within LLCs. With LLCs, you can register through an attorney, you can register through a shell, and there's really no way for them to track who the owner is.
Got
But
you.
now they're saying that if you're going to be an LLC, then you're going to then you need to make sure that you need to make sure that you're properly registering. We can track who you are, who the owners are. So in case there's any issues, we can go ahead and find who the real owners are of this corporation. So the rules are right now, if you have any LLCs that were formed before January 1st, 2024, then you have until January 1st, 2025 to register your LLC.
Wow.
Okay? So they give you a year to do that, right? Um if you register an LLC in 2024, they only give you 90 days.
I get it. It should be a part of the paperwork. I get it.
Exactly. You might as well just do it as policy paperwork. You're absolutely right. Um,
That's
so
interesting.
you
So what
have to do
office
it.
are you registering your LLC with? What office do you need to say
So
that's
usually you're registering your LLC with your state Department of State.
right?
So in New York, which is where I am, we go through the Department of State. You can either do it by mail, by fax, or via the website.
Got you.
Okay. But you're going to register your LLC with the US Treasury Financial Crimes Division.
Okay.
Okay. And you can do FinCEN, that's what it's called, FINCEN.gov. And there on their website, you should be able to get that information as well on how to register your LLC. New York actually is starting to incorporate that registration and provide a way for once you register, they'll provide that information to the federal government. Not all states are up on it. So you
Got you.
really need to check with your state
To
to
be
see
sure.
who, yep, to be sure. Okay. And the name of it is the Corporate Transparency Act. And you got to submit it to the FinCEN, which is part of the Department of Treasury.
I get it.
Okay.
Now,
The
I've
United
been
States
hearing
Department
about
of
this
Treasury.
stuff, Gigi, all over the internet. And of course, you can't believe everything you hear, but they were
Fair.
saying it needs to be, January 24th. If you don't have it in by then, you're gonna have a fine of like $500 a day and all this kind of crazy stuff. But you're saying that this is true, but it's actually January 2025, that if you have a business before January 24, that you have a whole year of actually doing this paperwork.
Right. But if you register from January 1, 2024 to present, they only give you 90 days.
90
And I
days.
think the reason being is that some people need to do some cleanup work on their LLCs. They need to see, what LLCs they're still using. Because I have like one or two LLCs. I don't know why. I had a purpose for
I
using it.
understand.
I haven't used it. So it's like, okay, if I'm going to use it, let me crap and get off the pot and use
Right.
it or dissolve it.
Right. I get it. I get it.
Right.
And
And so,
which I would say for everybody, if we're content creators, it is a business. Now, there's levels to those businesses. If you are starting to do work for other people, or if you're getting paid a certain amount, what amount do you think? And this is a good question for you. What amount do you think that someone should actually, if they're getting business as a content creator, should they actually get a LLC to run that business?
so it's not necessarily about amounts, it's about protection.
Okay.
So it's, some of us have personal assets, a house, a
Right.
car, 401ks or any type of environment, not environment, retirement, bank accounts, things of that nature. But generally, most people may have a house or a car that they have, and then other investments come as you get older, you become more mature, bring in more money, so on and so forth. The LLC or any type of business formation is a barrier, if you will, between your personal assets and your business, right?
Got you. Uh huh.
So if something goes wrong in your business, let's say your debts are more than your income and you have to close and all of these some things may happen with your business, your personal assets stay untouched because you did everything. That's if you do everything through the business. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing business wise, whether you're doing content creation, video production, and anything in between, mobile video production, that you have a way of protecting your business assets from your personal assets.
I like that. That makes sense. That being said, let's go to the comments right here. We have several people that's already kind of
Okay.
chimed in. Roy, I hadn't shouted you
Okay.
out, sir. Tech Troublemaker, watching from South Carolina. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Scott, glad to have you. Video clips included YouTube videos. Okay, we got it. We have a question I'm going to get to in just 1 second, but I want to go to the gospel source. Watching from New York. New York's in the
All
business two
right.
times today. And David is with us. David Hunt, ready for
Hey,
this.
David. How are you? Haven't
And he
spoken to you
says,
guys in a while.
I know it. He's watching from Massachusetts. Thank you so very much, guys, for
Right
hanging
next
out with us this
door.
morning.
Right next door. He'd be
If
better in
you,
New York,
there you
but we'll
go.
take it.
Listen, if you have a question, of course, we're going to talk about copyrights. We started talking about this new LLC law just so people can get an understanding if you have a business that you need to have it registered. But let's jump into this question I have here from Awesome Wood Things. His question is, my understanding is if you publish something, it's copyrighted. But if you also hear about the Copyright Office, what is up with that? Right? Is this a thing? What is up with that?
Okay, so there is a thing. You're kind of right, and there's a two-part question. There is a copyright office. It does exist.
Right?
And the whole purpose is that you could have there's a difference between having an unregistered copyright with common law rights and a registered copyright with more rights to that. Okay. Anything that's a unique work, music, written, forms of expression, art, those things, you can publish it and it has common law copyrights. You don't need to file it with the Copyright Office, so on and so forth. However, your rights in enforcing if somebody takes that work is really limited. You can give them a cease and desist, but if they don't pay attention to your cease and desist, then it's hard for you to do a lawsuit without it being a registered copyright.
I get it.
Okay, that registration, and it's very inexpensive. It's $65. Like a week of Starbucks is $65. But the registration gives you that right to say, I am the owner of this express form of expression, right? I can trace my ownership back to whatever date and time when I created it. And I took the time to protect it and make it public record that I am the owner of this form of expression.
Got you.
That is the benefit of registering it with the Copyright Office. So if you go to, I'm doing this on my computer because I never know these things by heart, so sorry. And I
That's
could put
okay.
this in the chat. So the US Copyright Office, their website is copyright.gov. And here is a plethora of information about, and I'm putting the link in the chat. There's a plethora of information about what a copyright is, what it means to have it registered with the Copyright Office, what you can get registered with the Copyright Office, information about the copyright law and the process. So if you have a form of expression that you're looking to really protect or even license, right? So meaning that if you look at music is the easiest one. That artist makes that music, and then their label licenses it out for us to listen to Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all of those different streaming services. So the rights stay with whatever rights they have based on their contract stays with the artist who made that music, but now it's being licensed out and they're getting residuals from that expression. That's the same thing with copyright. You're saying that I am the maker of this form of expression,
Mm-hmm.
and now I want to use it commercially, but I need to protect it. And then that allows if somebody infringes, not only do you get to do the cease and desist, now you can do the takedowns of their pages on Facebook, Instagram, and other forms of social media. Now you can do federal suits and ask for damages, and in certain cases, punitive damages, depending on how flagrant the person is. Now you can do all types of other things that's at your disposal because you've now taken a moment and it's did a snapshot in time to copyright and claim ownership of that work. It's a lot harder to do those things without there being a registered copyright.
So, and this is, we've heard so many ways of copywriting. We've heard ways in the past of, and I'm talking from the music business, like making a
Mhm.
particular song, using a CD and mailing it to yourself, and that's is dated because of the mail and all of that. That doesn't work anymore.
No, it never worked, but
Got you.
okay.
Got you.
But I get it. But again, it's $65. Now, if you're doing a whole lot of work, right? Like for me, I blog. I have a travel business outside of my legal things that
Okay.
I do. I blog. If I do a 6 or 7 part series, I can wrap that, but so long as I don't whatchamacallit, so long as I don't publish it, I can wrap that 6 and 7 part series so long as it's related into one filing. So I don't have to file each and every one. As content creators, if you're doing videos that are pre-recorded, you have to do it before you
Release
release the
it.
videos. Right, but you can go do up to 10 videos.
That's a good
As
question.
long as they're related for one
So
fee.
let's go with the young lady that did who did I marry
Risa
series on
Tisa.
TikTok. Y-
Yes.
Yeah, so she's blown up, right? 50
She
different
has.
parts of this TikTok. And so it's my understanding. Okay, this is a good question. you're putting content on TikTok. Now, Facebook, YouTube, at some point they own this content as well, right?
You have to look at the terms and conditions. So TikTok is its own anomaly, which is why I'm not on TikTok,
Okay.
because they don't participate. They allow for the proliferation of other people's content.
Right.
If somebody steals your content, they refuse to do anything about it. They don't
Wow.
participate in the government programs. So you would have to actually file a federal lawsuit in order for it to get taken down on TikTok. And federal lawsuits are a lot of money and a lot of time.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not. You're talking a minimum $15,000 to $20,000. You
Wow.
know, and so like you have not everybody has that sitting in their bank account or in their back pocket. So that's part of the issue with TikTok, which is why I'm not on it. I know TikTok is huge, everybody loves it. I also know that the federal government's looking to ban it, and we can go back and forth. That's a whole different show
Right.
about whether or not that's a good idea. But I'm weary of it because if you read, they don't do anything for us as a consumer. There's no protection. So
So
I'm not going to put my stuff on TikTok.
so right now, this young lady has blown up, millions of views on several different parts of this video. My wife is watching them. I think she's on like 31 right now. She's always watching this stuff. She got it late and started listening to it and just keeps going, right? Well,
Well,
this
somebody
all
on YouTube was nice enough to put all 50 videos and push them together. So that's how I was able to consume it. Because I was
wow.
like, I'm not going on TikTok. But if somebody didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But yeah, they put all of the videos
How
together.
long is it all together?
It's 500 minutes. That's, they're all
Wow.
50, 10-minute videos. That's 500 minutes.
Oh my goodness. So, there's already like a Tubi movie out, right?
Of it? Really?
There's already a Tubi movie out. Now, I don't know if they just retitled a movie that was already made or something, because that's possible. But yes, there was a movie on Tubi that I saw that was out
Tubi
about
has
this.
no shame.
And I just think that it's really funny. So let's do this. I got a couple people in the comments right now that I definitely want to be sure I say hello. Of course, we already put out the message, but Simply Ops is saying hello to
Oh,
you.
hey, Aubrey.
And she's actually saying hello to everybody. And then we also have Mr. Camera Junkie hanging out with us. How are you doing,
Hey,
sir?
Louise.
And he says hello, everybody. Then he says hello, Gigi. But I don't see a hello, Strick, for whatever reason.
Uh-oh.
I don't. I
Uh-oh.
don't. I don't know what that's all about. But
Maybe
saying
because
it
they
is. He's
you
doing David, Obs, and Fam. I guess I get to be and Fam. You know. There's I'll be saying
okay.
hello to David. I mean to Mr. Camera Junkie. I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you, Mr. Camera Junkie. I know you are the man. So Scott here has a question, and I want to be sure that we get to his question right now. Mr. Camera Junkie, it's too late to say what's up, Strick. Now it's okay. All right, Scott. I have a crypto educational channel, Crypto Dojo. What would be the best way to protect that name? Is it possible to protect names on YouTube channels?
So that's more of your trademark. Because remember, copyright is about your actual expression, your expressive work. When you're looking into names and branding, that's trademark. So that means that if you have a crypto like Crypto Jojo, you're looking to trademark that brand and all of your assets. It could be your name in written word, can be your logo. That's a separate trademark. That's even though it's artistic work, it's part of your brand. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those two things are all under trademark, which is a separate process from copyright. It's more expensive and much longer.
But
um, Go ahead.
if it's a YouTube channel, I mean people could make duplicate names YouTube channel. I don't know if you're protected on YouTube for a channel name.
I would think that they would have, and I don't know YouTube back working, so I'm going to leave it up to you content creators who do this all the time, whether or not you can do the same name. I could see people doing one off, like my channel's Legally Pink Travel, but if somebody did Legally Pink Travel number one, I don't see how I can prevent them from doing that.
Right, and yeah, not with YouTube.
Right. But if you have your trademark protection, trademark isn't the exact word. It's what trademark goes into when they analyze whether or not there's infringement is whether or not the consumer feels as though the names are similar and or confusing.
Got you.
So if I did Legally Pink Travel and somebody did Legally Pink Travel 1, I could say that that is too close to my name, which confuses the consumer, and now you're infringing upon my name.
Got you.
Take it down. Change your name. And I have a lot more power when these are registered trademarks.
Got you. So let's go here. Awesome Wood Thing says that the YouTube channel names must be unique. That's the only restriction. So it is possible, even with that, you're saying the one makes it unique. So you just never know. You just never know.
Right.
There are
But in
ways
their
to.
term, sorry, go ahead. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But in their terms, they make you say and attest that you're not taking somebody else's name, that you have the rights to that name. That's
Got
in
you.
everybody's terms and conditions that you agree to when you sign up for your channel. So you got to be really clear about what terms you're signing up for. If your intent is to come on and take somebody's name because, they have the audience and they're popular. It's like somebody, you have Ecamm and you come up and do Efam, and it's confusing, and if somebody types in the F versus the C, they're gonna come get you, and now you've taken what would be somebody else's audience. That's against their terms and conditions.
So what about this? David Hunt makes a good statement here. He says you could have the same YouTube name. For example, I use my name for my channel. So he's using David Hunt. So there's three now DJ Stricks
Really?
YouTube channels. You know, so
Are
if
they
you
all you?
no, they're not all me. So I'm one, and there are two other people that have DJ Strick inside of it now. It may be DJ Strick again, like you said, with some numbers behind it. But they are there. So if you search it, their name will come up as well. So it's there. Let's do this really quick. He is hanging out with us. Man, did I not pick the right one? Let's see if I can add him to the show. Mr. Kurt R. Nugent is hanging out
There he
with us. Hey, sir,
is.
What's going on?
how are you
I,
doing,
I
man?
listen. I have to say, man, I have not had the pleasure of sharing the screen with our guest tonight. So I'm super honored, and of course, just want to say a word of apology for coming in a little late. But man, I've been listening, and you are dropping some gems. I think that first piece about the LLC, some people just need to go back and just listen to that part alone, because
I
you want to get paid.
appreciate that.
But it's good to meet you digitally.
You as well. Yes,
So
virtually,
Gigi
digitally, all
and
that
I
stuff.
met at the People of Video a couple years
Yes.
ago. And we all hung out for a little while. We got pizza at this little spot in Albany, New York. You
All
know,
little
Come on.
Albany, New York,
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
hometown.
And this is part two of a conversation. I think that, we need to have this conversation for content creators as often as we can. Copyrights come up all the time. And she gave us a little bonus starting out today talking about LLCs, because we need to know that as well. I just believe that, if you're a content creator and you're starting to build for other people, you might want to think about an LLC. And this new ruling will protect yourself if you go ahead and file it. And we talked about that earlier. That being said,
Mhm.
there's so much to talk about when we are going down this rabbit hole of copyrights. And Gigi is here to kind of help us through it all. I thought I had a question here. I want to go back real quick just to be sure that I didn't. We also talked about, this young lady that did
Risa
the
Tisa.
50-part series on TikTok, and how, sometimes these platform owns the content. Like how she's able
Mm,
to monetize this outside of TikTok. And then Gigi shared that TikTok, they allow people to take your stuff.
yeah.
Like there's
Uh,
very little copyrights you can have on that platform, and how important it is. I think that we need all to be aware. Now, I am a YouTuber. I just really like concentrating on YouTube because I think it's, as a content creator, it is the best tool because you do have some rights as a content creator and copyrights, but it also is a better platform for you to get monetized as well. That's just how I feel about it. I'm
mhm.
not sure that the young lady with the 50 parts would have got as popular on YouTube if she was just on YouTube. So there are some,
Yeah.
some give and takes as a
Yeah.
content creator that you have to really think about. But now that she's there, I'm praying that she is a good writer. I'm
She makes
praying she's a good writer and can come up with some other good content. Like I'm still
yeah.
not convinced that she didn't make all this stuff up, but that's just me.
No, I mean,
Look.
I think that something to be said there. Your motive for going to a platform is, you just it's wildly personal. So if it's
Mhm.
discoverability, like for me, Amazon Live was all about discoverability. I wasn't necessarily trying to become a list or drive create this empire of affiliate business or affiliate income. I was really just trying to, again, become more discoverable on a platform where it was brand new. Similar approaches can be done with TikTok, I think, and not necessarily putting your entire brand over there, but just looking at it for what it is. It's newer, and there's a higher level of discoverability that you have access to in that space. But once you are discovered, you want to have a different strategy in terms of getting people over to your own property. And to be clear, that's not YouTube either. So there's you have to look at it, all of the different I guess aspects or platforms, as opportunities for us as creators. And even as you look at this whole concept or conversation of copywriting, fam.
Right, right,
It's all
right.
our content, right? Like they're talking about copywriting our content. This is why this conversation is just so hilarious to me. Yeah, because I mean, I got a message from YouTube saying somebody posted my entire video, like the entire video, that entire video.
Wow.
So I unknowingly, I didn't know that what was going to happen to the guy's channel. They asked me, what do you want to do? And I hit the, hey, tell this guy to take it down. They actually got rid of his entire channel. I
Wow.
want somebody else to hear that.
So you know
People
what
in
what might have happened?
the
This guy
top.
already had so many claims, and he got another claim. So
That's it.
let me share this, and then Gigi, I know I have a question for you about copyrights. There's a guy on YouTube. This was probably about 2 years ago. He does the drone footage in different cities. I mean,
Okay.
great 4K drone footage in these cities all across America, right? Well, he had one for Birmingham,
Okay.
and which is my city, and I had an introduction to my show, kind of like my countdown. So I wanted to use his drone footage. So what do you think I did? I just took it. Not a good idea.
Oh
So just
my.
like you was notified, he was notified. And it
Mhm.
took me a while to even get in contact with him. So what I did was I tried to, go through the claim system, but I tried to reach out to the content creator. All right, emailing him several times. I finally found him on Instagram and DM'd him about his channel and all of this, so then I could pay him to have the rights to be able to use his video. So we worked it all out. It took
Right.
me longer than I wanted to happen because he didn't have to reply or anything, but of course he has it out there so he could get paid for it. And actually, what I paid him was probably more than the royalty rights that he would get on YouTube for people watching it. But it was my fault for using it in the first place. But it did erase the claim that I had on my channel.
Mhm.
That being said, I went through the process, and now I understand that you can't just take it and use it. These people will be notified, and they have a choice to whether they want to look into your channel, who is this person, how they're using it, or just click a button and says accept the claim, take it down. So I didn't want another claim, and so I made sure that claim went away and everything is fine. But that is the process, and I had to see it on the other side, so now I'm fully aware of it. But Gigi, how important is it for us as content creators to be really aware of the copyright law so they don't get, from a YouTube standpoint or anything else, in trouble when it comes to using copyrighted material?
You have to be diligent on that stuff. Like it's not easy coming up with new concepts and new content and things to keep people entertained and engaged on your channel. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of
Hmm.
preparation, it's a lot of planning. And so I take it personally when somebody decides to take what you have done and use it and claim it as their own.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're all capable of unique thought.
Mm.
And so some are stronger in certain areas than others. Like I can't do science stuff to save my life at
Mm.
all. I suck. But I have a zest and love for travel. I can curate some great experiences and I can talk about my travels all day every day with the same amount of passion as a scientist can talk about whatever experiment they did in a little corner.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's my gift. That's my contribution. And I would be pissed if somebody thought because they're in the same industry as me that they have a right to take my things.
Wow.
And that same feeling that you have when little Johnny took your basketball while you were playing, or your sister took your shoe and then beat you upside the head with it,
Mercy.
because that's what sisters do.
Yes, they
Like,
do.
that was yours. You didn't ask permission, and it feels like a violation.
Got you.
That's why you need to be very, very clear on whether or not what you're using is somebody else's things.
I like that. So
And mhm.
I was going to ask another question on top of that, and I don't know, Kirk, you may have another question as well. But
I'm so sorry about
the
my
dogs
dogs.
are back. The
I have
dogs are back.
absolutely no clue what they're barking at. I
No,
wish I knew.
I was
Sorry.
just going to say that you guys touched on it earlier, but I think there's the onus is on the creator, even if you're producing video content for a client, to ensure that the content that you're using is owned content. Meaning, like I had a client that sent me clips to create the end product video that they wanted, and one of the clips, my editor was like, "Hey, this clip doesn't look like the others. Like, is this theirs?" And we had to go back to the client and be like, is this yours? And she said, "Oh, I grabbed it from here." No,
Right.
we can't use that.
Right.
And even though we had gone through that conversation, but I didn't think it was that big a deal. I just, no. If you want to use this clip, you need to create the video yourself. I can't create the video for you. So I just want to kind of throw that in there as well. But I think what she shared is that's the thinking behind the structure and the systems that we see in place behind copyright. It's an infringement. It is intellectual property that isn't yours. You didn't get permission to use. And just by, I see the comment in there saying, what if I give them credits in the description? That's not, no, that's a no, fam. I just wanted to say
No,
that's
that's a no, period.
it's a no.
And
So let's be clear on that one now. That one has some, what you call it? It could be different. If I give them credit. Now, there's certain videos on YouTube, people will say you can use my copyrighted material as long as
that's
you give
different
me. Okay, there you go.
No,
because
I
you
won't.
have their permission.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're giving
Right.
you their explicit permission on the outset.
Right.
I wonder, can I just, I respectfully disagree, y'all, because I have a client experience right now where they did exactly that. and the person changed their mind.
Change their mind.
Yeah, it's their content.
They can
So
do
what do you
that.
have in writing other than a description that says you can use this as long as you give me credit, you can use this? What else do you have? You're going to screenshot that and take that to court? It's their content. It's theirs. So if they change their
So
mind,
you're in that area of gray. Notice I sat back because now this is a great question because you gave your permission. You have a right to revoke your permission. So now you're looking at when you gave permission, did they use it prior to the revocation?
Mercy.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you use it prior to the revocation, then at the time that I used it, I had your permission.
Mm.
And so now this is a great case. It's arguable whether or not you had their permission. So if you gave if your permission was posted and I had the wherewithal to screenshot it, and there's screenshot things that you can apps on that you can have on your computer that'll save the website URL, the date, and the time right at the top. So if I had the wherewithal to do that, and then and that's on March 12th. I used it on March 12th. And on March 14th, you say, nope, I'm not doing it. But on March 12th is when I used it and I had your permission.
I had your permission.
It's sort of like no take backsies. But if I use it on March 15th,
hold on. No take backseat. Okay, from the lawyer's perspective, like we need to be sure. Do me a favor, Mr. Camera Junkie. Please put that in the comments. All right, no take backsies when it comes to you're saying it's okay for us to use it as long as we give you credit, and then you take it back and use it. Now, Kirk is also right because YouTube may not know about anything about the description or the claims you have in the description of your video. It gets to the content creator. Content creator is not thinking, guess what? Somebody's got a piece of your video. Hit the button.
Done.
But see, that's the thing about it is there's a second part to that process. You can hit the button, but now I have a right to come back and say,
that's true.
That's not true. And now I can give my screenshot with my date and said, this is the date that I used it. This is the date that I pulled it. You can see the credit right here. He does not have a claim.
Right.
See.
And then now that person has to take me to court and my content comes back up.
That is the whole session now, because once it goes back and forth, the next thing is a court date, and then everybody has got time and money to spend, but including that content creator, because the content creator is the one that's got to take it to court.
That's right.
It's everything you're saying is true,
but you're why do I want to put that risk? Why do I want to risk that? And that's the question you as a content creator have to ask yourself. What level of risk do I want to put myself on in order to use this content? Right? It's a lot better to have it in writing versus use it but credit me.
So let me say this.
That's my entire point. Go ahead, Strick. Go ahead.
No. I want to finish that so we get a review on that.
No. That's the whole thing. Is there's at the end of the day, man. If we can I was saying to a media ministry that I work with, I was like, let's just do our own B-roll. Let's just do our own, it might take us a little longer, but then it's all ours and nobody can come for us. Like,
right.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. Long term, thinking about the peace of mind, thinking about, am I in this for just a quick minute or am I going to be here for a long haul? Right. And because of that, that's the reason why I'm like, we kind of need to look at these things slightly differently. In the faith-based space, there's a whole other set of issues, let me just say it that way, that plague us from week to week as everybody's up on these live streams singing somebody else's songs. And so these are, you have, CCLI? No, you're licensed while live. So the minute that thing becomes replay, it's no longer licensed anymore.
Wow.
And so again, it becomes this thing where you have to kind of say to yourself, I'm literally kind of playing Twister with these laws and rules, trying to dip and dodge and duck. Why not just forego the whole game altogether and just do my own thing?
I like you. I like you. Let's go to these comments, guys. And I gotta add you in. Kirk, where are you, Kirk? Huh? Where are you?
We
I'm
lost
in
him.
jail.
Wait, we
I'm
got
in
two
jail.
people. You.
Two of me. Like, that's a great show. Why not interview myself? There you go. Okay,
There you
so we got a couple things here I want to be sure that I get to. Hey man, who let the dogs out? What was that, Ivy Rose?
Yes, it was Ivy Rose. Yes.
There's the dog. Here we go. Reviewing the full terms of Creative Commons license that grants rights would be a wise step. I agree with you 100%, Keely. I agree with you 100%.
Keely.
I don't think this can be overstated. And I think if you walk away with anything from this conversation, fam, as you're watching, there isn't an easy button. I hope that that's becoming clear. Like, you're going to actually need to go through and understand some of the ramifications, some of the requirements, some of the guidelines for yourself, and then make an informed decision about how you're going to move forward. I think what Keely's saying here is it is a necessary step. It is wise for sure, but it is a necessary step if you're going to continue creating content.
So I didn't tell the full story about me getting a claim or strike or whatever. I don't remember if it was a claim. I think it was a community strike that I got by using this other person's content. I think that's what it was.
I think that sounds
contacted him. That strike, we negotiated, in my memory, because it was a while ago, I'm thinking I paid him $200 to continue to use the content and to get him to remove that strike. That's what it cost me, guys. I'm just saying, hey, you can make those mistakes. It was kind of cheap, but it could be expensive too, because I didn't really need it. I mean, it was a 5-minute. It was a 5-minute intro into a video that I could have used other stuff. So that's it is what it is. No take backsies. Okay, Keely is here. YouTube has one of the best systems for content creators to not only enforce but also to fight copyright claims. Others not so much. So I do agree with that. I agree.
Totally. Facebook is.
Mr. Cameron Jackson says, "What? Yeah, it's the same thing you were saying, Kirk. Why go through the headache? Why go through the headache?
It's all about the risk. It's all about the risk, right? And one of the things that, if there's something that you really want to use because it really hits home to the message you're trying to convey to your audience, reach out to that creator first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Put something in writing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the thing about it is that it's bad enough that you're taking somebody else's. Not so bad if you're taking it with their permission. But if you're just going to take it, because I've seen people get on their YouTube channels get white knuckled pissed when they got a strike because they took somebody's content without their permission. And I'm like, the entitlement and the audacity for you to be mad because you took somebody else stuff. And their thing is, why didn't they reach out to me if they wanted me to take it down? They don't have to.
No, they don't.
They don't have to. You took their stuff.
Exactly.
Why did you reach out belong to you? I don't have to have a conversation with you for you to beg you to give me back what's mine. I don't have to. And to me, that's a level of entitlement that I will never, ever understand or get on board with.
That is so true.
As I mentioned before, in the faith-based space, people they'll grab an entire message and share that on their page. And then they'll say, but I'm spreading the gospel. And I'm like,
absolutely not.
Don't work like that.
You stole our entire video.
It don't work like that.
And the guy's message back is like, but they took down my whole channel. I'm like, that's not on me. That's on you.
Right.
And
I
that's
mean,
what
this is
they do.
And
it's
this
an
is
interesting.
in the midst of other platforms allowing you to remix content. All right, the hole in the
Hmm.
corner, and you could do like this. All you're doing is this, and it's somebody else's soundbite. I just think that we have to be careful about that.
Right.
Especially as a content creator. We all have probably done some of this. Me not so much because I just use my own content like that. But I think it's a level of respect that you can have for other content creators and the stuff that they're doing.
Like I watch a lot of don't, you can judge me if you want to. That's fine. I watch reality TV. I usually
Okay.
stay towards the reality TV with people of color. I'm Issa Rae. I support everybody black. But the thing is that YouTubers are doing recaps of these reality TV,
Yes, they are.
and they're replaying some of the clips.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are they doing this without getting copyright stripes? And I'm watching, they're speeding it up. They only play the clip for like 2 or 3 seconds, so it'll be under fair use, but that's not how fair use works. But for whatever reason, the algorithm doesn't, the way that they're doing it doesn't allow the algorithm to pick it up, so they
Yeah.
can get a type of content strike.
Hmm.
I like that. So they're thinking that it would be fair use is what they're trying to do. So there are channels that are built off those reviews, and they have so much of a clip that they could use that they can't play it all the way through. Kind of like what Kirk said, someone is taking the whole message. You can't do that, but you can actually take it and put clips up of the whole message as long as you are interrupting it or talking over or something like that.
I don't
Right. And
know.
you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know if either are okay. I think that they're gaming the system.
Yes.
I
In
think
a
that
sense,
they're
yes.
intentionally.
And it
Yeah.
depends, because you can use it to comment on it, right? You're able to use copyrighted work without the owner's permission. If you're criticizing, you're commenting on it, you're doing some news reporting, things of that nature. But I still think that, the whole purpose of fair use is to allow other people to use copyrighted work without being monetized. But these content creators are monetized. They're asking for super chats and things of
Yeah.
that nature.
Yeah.
But in order to be able to move forward, they have to use clips. They have to refer back to the topic in which they're discussing. So I get it. For me, it's a shade of gray, but I totally get it, and what they're doing and how it can fall in there. But then it's like, okay, if you are 10 toes down that this is purely fair use, then don't speed it up. Don't
Yeah.
Gotcha.
do, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I go back and forth on it, and I think it's a shade of gray. Like if I take a pair of Nike sneakers, like I have Peloton, and I got a pair of Nike sneakers from my Peloton that I sent to an artist to doctor up and put it in my sorority colors and everything. That's pure fair use. I already purchased it. I'm not trying to reuse the Nike symbol. I'm decorating it for my own purposes,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
I'm not selling them, and I think the artists who are selling the artwork is can do it fair use too, because you're doing it to somebody else's property. They've already
Hmm.
purchased it. Where I get into shades of gray is when the artist also buys the sneakers.
When an
I'm with
artist
you on
also buys the sneakers.
Right. If I'm
that. Hmm.
bringing the sneakers to the artist,
I got you.
fair use. But if
Yeah.
the artist is buying the sneakers, you can
Remixing
be
it,
looked at as a
selling it.
reseller.
Got
You're
you.
a reseller.
Got you.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of channels out there like that. There's a couple of questions I want to get to, and
Yeah.
let me be
There's some
sure
good
that
ones
I
out
can.
there. Yeah.
Let me just go to crypto dojo now. Fair use work for video clips within videos. Let's just go with that one. This is what we're talking
So,
about right now, and think Keely even has said some stuff in the comments I get to as well. The idea is that I think you said it already. If it's some type of review, like a news channel, that you can
Right.
use
It doesn't have to
clips
be
of
new.
videos.
You can comment on it. Yeah, you can use clips of videos. You can't use the full video, right? Because by using the full video, you're just replaying the video. But if
Right.
you're taking snippets of it to comment on it, that definitely goes under fair use.
Gotcha. Is there a certain length that you're aware of?
It depends, but it's usually only like a minute or two, maybe three. I would say the sweet spot is like no more than five. But
Mm.
if it's a 5-minute video,
That's the whole.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It depends on the length, right? So
Right.
if it's a 5-minute video and you're playing that whole 5-minute video, is that really fair use now? But if you're playing 30 seconds out of the 5-minute video, that's a better argument for fair use.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, a lot of the content that you talked about, and I know David Hunt commented on it as well. Reaction channels to all of the different reality platforms or shows that are out there, because there's a ton. But there is a lot of those shows that's part of their advertising. Like
Hmm.
they need, or they encourage those kinds of channels, because it also kind of creates a base for their show. And so there is a win-win situation that does take place for that particular genre. And so I mean, sometimes, but because I mean, I've seen some of them. Some of them show the entire episode, like the entire thing. They just
Mm.
have themselves somewhere there on the screen and they're watching the joint. They'll pause and talk to one another, but they still watching the whole thing. So I don't know. I always wonder, like, how in the world do they get away with that? But again, like you said, I do feel like they're towing the line. And
Hmm.
even if they are able to game the algorithm for a time, what happens if the algorithm does, you know, get upgraded and it can figure out that that's what you're doing, speeding it up, slowing it down, just including some clips, then your entire channel becomes demonetized, right? It's only a matter of time. So you're really just, you may be getting away with it for now, but the long arm of the law is coming for you. So I feel like there is a day of reckoning, almost, waiting for you. This is why, again, it comes back to, is it worth it?
Right.
Eh, I don't know.
Well,
Well,
let me
also
say
with
this.
things, go
No,
ahead.
no,
I'm
no, go ahead,
sorry.
Gigi.
So also with things, I appreciate his comment. And he's saying the thing about fair use is that only a judge can confirm something is or is not fair use. And he's absolutely correct. So it goes back to what we were discussing regarding the strikes and the takedown process, is
Mhm,
that a
mhm,
content creator may feel that you're infringing on whatever content that they've created. You may feel it's fair use. So it's incumbent upon that content creator to file a lawsuit against you to say take
mhm,
it down and it go through its process. Again, is for content creators, that's a lot of money and a lot of time. So you as a content creator may get away with taking that person's work because they don't have the time or the money to come after you in that way.
totally agree. Yep.
Because YouTube
So
is not the final arbiter. If you come back and say, if it's clear cut, my name is Legally Pink Travel, and you're coming out as Legally Pink Travel One, that's very clear cut. They may decide they don't have to, but and a lot of times they don't. They don't want to be that person, and they don't have to do that. But if they're not taking you to court, and a lot of content creators don't are not, like, if you're
Right.
a huge person like Amy Porterfield, she has a legal team. She's taking you to court.
Gotcha.
yes, sir.
But little me, I might just for the fun of it, but but a lot of us ain't got that bread in our back pocket. So
Mm-mm.
now you've gotten away with taking our content, but then we resort to other things, such as so and so took my content.
Right.
Blasting them on social media, those type of things that may or may not get you the outcome that you're looking for. All depends, because you got to be careful not to defame or slander them either. So, so there's things around it, but it's I agree. It's not worth it. It can be a headache because you never know that one person you stealing from may have the time.
Right. Right.
It may have the money and you just don't know that.
Got you.
And
And
if you don't have the time and the money.
so I want to say this. I've seen some reaction videos or channels that do reaction videos, and some of those channels are extremely popular. All right.
Mhm.
Content creators have built their whole channel around have you heard or did you hear or did you see or this is what's coming down the pipe or and they're using the whoever the celebrity is face on the thumbnail with did you know or they said this and are actually playing what they said in a moment and they're huge channels.
Well, celebrities are different though. Because if you're a celebrity, right? Just like any type of public figure, it could
Okay.
be a celebrity, it could be a politician. Your rights to your face and your name, you have lesser rights
Wow.
because you've
Mm.
decided to be out in the public sphere. You decided to be a public figure. And so people can use your face. People can use your name if they're doing some type of work,
Wow, I didn't
you
know that.
know. Mhm. Mhm. They have less rights to privacy. They have lesser rights to a whole lot of things
So it's
just
over
being a
with for you,
public
Kirk.
figure.
It's over.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I literally just thinking that to myself right
You
now. Like,
you you
oh,
gotta you giving your life away.
I'm,
You know,
I'm
we've
seeing that.
had we've had like AI companies come out with music, like certain people
Mhm.
rapping in so and so's voice or talking in so and so's voice. Like that is a big deal. That is a big deal. Let's go here. I do have a question from David here. So let's see what David has to say. I have a copyright claim right now that I'm thinking of fighting because it says that the song I created matches the song they have out right now. How do I combat that? Recreate my song is the question that
So
he
that
has.
is not something that I can answer here because there's a whole lot of facts that go behind it. I would say do a consultation, and I'll put my link in the chat because these things are very fact specific, right? And so it depends on what you created. It depends on you got to listen to the song, see what parts of it they may be claiming, maybe copyright, maybe infringing on their copyright. There's a whole lot to that analysis that I can't answer just in this setting.
Mm.
So, it requires a legal professional to do a legal analysis on whether or not, give me one second, on whether or not you have a claim or they have a claim. So that's not an easy question to answer, but I'm putting my link in the chat. So if you want to schedule a consultation, you can,
Can you put
and
it
we can.
on in the interview chat like for us so I can put it up? Because
I can
it
put it in
wasn't.
the internet chat as well. Yes, I will do that right
Gotcha.
now. Once I find it.
Coolio.
Guest chat?
Yep,
Yes,
that
Okay,
one.
guest chat.
got it. It's there.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy that link as well.
Because like I said, these are very fact specific type of cases. So we really need to make sure that whatchamacallit, you got to make sure there's a lot of things we got to check out before we sit there and say you have a claim, this is something you should fight, should not fight.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense, especially when it comes to music. Especially when it comes to
Right.
music. Um, you've been awesome tonight. I really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate the time that you give us to talk about this stuff. It kind of help us get aligned to what we're thinking about while we're building all this content, repurposing all this content, like to be thoughtful about what we're using, how we're using it. you just never know what the next new thing is. Like using a whole bunch of these emojis or pictures or B-roll in our repurposed stuff. Like, do we have rights for some of the B-roll that we
Mercy.
get? So we want to be
Mercy.
thoughtful about all of that. And you help us kind of get back to center so we don't get ourselves in trouble.
I like that, back to center. But that's the other thing you have to keep in mind too. If you're partnering with someone, you guys need to be very clear. There has to be a written agreement. Like, contracts go very far because they're there to keep both parties in line. So the fact that you, Kirk and Strick, are partnering here, okay, but you're doing it through Ecamm, so you have your agreement with Ecamm. But if you guys were partnering on a show, you guys got to be very clear on who owns what rights in
Right.
case you guys split.
Right.
You know what I
Man,
mean? Because
so good.
if you guys are sitting here and you're building content, generating content, and you've been together for 3 or 4 years, that's 3 or 4 years of content that I'm pretty sure both parties are going to want to use.
Right.
Mm.
And because you were partners, you didn't care who used it. But once you split, you do.
Right.
If you don't have that conversation at the beginning and you guys don't part ways peacefully, that's going to be a bone of contention.
Right. You're right.
Now,
Like there's
everything you're
things that you need to
saying.
think about.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
that
yeah.
means no one can use that content
The content,
until
and
you
this
figure
is
it
why
out.
I like, and you're using me as Strick as an example. Great example. But just for clarity, this is why I like the partnership with Strick. This is Strick's show. I just get to jump on here and hang out with him every now and again, and I love that. I love coming on and hanging out. But I think that was a very clear way. So, because what you're talking about is exactly the conversation that we had. It's very clear for me. I know that this is Strick's show. I just love coming on and hanging out with, of course, the Ecamm fam, just like you and several others. But what you're saying is absolutely important.
It is.
People don't think about those things when it comes on to the partnerships that they embark in, because it does have effect and impact later on down the road in ways that you may never have thought. And to be
Right.
clear, we're talking about content here, but I have seen this especially in business.
That's true.
Especially in business, it can be a whole disaster. So that's another,
And it could be a disaster even with an agreement. I went through it. I know.
Oh, yes.
It could
Oh,
be a
yes.
disaster even with an agreement. But if there
Yes.
wasn't, oh my God.
Right. That's true.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Somebody said in the chat, what about images? And I just want to say all of the above applies.
Yep.
All of the above applies. This is, it's there's nothing, I wouldn't even differentiate. All of the above applies. So.
Wow.
It applies to images. It applies to music. It applies to videos. It applies to, movies, TV show. It applies to any type of creative content that can fit underneath that umbrella. You just need to get the person's permission. And if they say no, respect it. Come up with your own things. Does it take time? Yes. Does it take work? Yes. But make sure, but it'll save you in the long run. Number one, it'll save you time having to fight some type of infringement claim, whether it be on your channel or in court. It'll also save your reputation.
That's true.
And that's the part we really didn't discuss, but it'll save your reputation.
The reputation part is huge.
People are coming to consume content from you as a reputable source to provide that content. And it's a lot harder to rebuild your reputation than it is to maintain it.
Wow, that's true.
And if your reputation is one that steals other people's content in this content creator space, ooh.
Yeah.
Oof, that's a whole word.
This is awesome. This is awesome. So, Gigi, people are seeing you here tonight, and to do the part two. I think we ended maybe the fourth quarter of last year talking, and now we're in the first quarter of this year, and you're back. They want to get more information about who you are. I know you put your link to your calendar there. Is there any other way they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so my calendar is the easiest way, but you can see I need to update it. But you can go to my website, www.glinnesa.com. Very easy. As long as you know how to spell my name right. I put it in the chat.
Gotcha.
And that's my website. You can see I do travel templates, but I'm gonna go into me templates for content creators. So I'll let Ecamm know. I'm in touch with Katie a lot, so I'll let them know when I start doing those contract templates for creators. But you
Mhm.
can also reach out to me there through my law firm. My link is the easiest way. It gets you on my calendar. I do charge $100 consultation fee. And you get me for 30 minutes. You can pick my brain. We can go over whatever it is you have issues with, talk through it. If you actually have something, we can talk about arrangements from there.
Absolutely love it. Love it, love it. Thank
Love
you
it.
for your time tonight. And man, this is just awesome to be able to go through this. Wish you well. And you already know that I'm thinking before the end of the year, we'll come back and do updates on what the copyright laws may
Yeah.
have changed for the end of the year, or making sure people know that they need to register their LLC if they got it before 2024. We'll remind them.
Nice.
Definitely. And thank
Cool.
you for having me.
Oh,
I
this has
hope
been great.
I hope I was a help to someone.
Oh, this is great conversation. They love it. You know, Crypto Dojo says that he absolutely enjoyed it, and he's giving us the
Yep.
smiley face and the fire emoji, along with
I
thank you so
like
very much for this
that.
awesome live stream. We just put it right there. There you go.
That's good.
I like that.
That's
Awesome.
good.
Cool. All right, guys, y'all know how we do it. Next Sunday, Kirk, we're doing a call-in show.
A
So for
call-in
every
show. Y'all better get
call-in
ready.
show, so this is, I'm going
Uh-oh.
back to my radio days with this. We're going to
Come
use the
on.
Ecamm Zoom integration to
Hmm.
actually have you come on to the show. So if you're watching this, I need you to go ahead and get your setup right, your lights, your camera, your microphone together. You got a whole week to figure out what your setup is going to look like, and I need you to come on to the stream show, and we're talking to you. What are we going
That's
to talk
right. You're
about?
our guest.
You be the guest. We'll just talk to you about what you got going on. It'll be a day that you can call in, and we may have a theme by the time we actually come on next week. But the theme is the call-in show. We're going to use this new Zoom integration and see how we can make it work, kind of testing it out for everybody. You can see how a show like this live using the Zoom integration could make a difference. And you may think, hey, my live shows need to be like this. We're going to try it out, see what happens. It will be a live show, so it won't be perfect, but
The
we're going
stream.
to
It's the
do
stream
it.
show. We gotta
It's the
stream it.
stream
We gotta.
show.
It's the stream
Definitely
show.
have to try it.
They're saying the web link doesn't work.
Yeah, I
I
did see
think.
that
Ew.
here.
I think
I
that
see
it's
that. So
Gailliard Law is the one that I found.
you can, yeah, Gaylord Law is fine.
Okay, I'll put that
Ew.
in the. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't.
Uh,
If it didn't forward me, but it came up with the when I searched it,
it
it
should
came up
have
with that.
forwarded you to Gaylord Law. It should
Okay.
have forwarded you to Gaylord Law. I was trying to make it easy. Okay. Ever since Google stopped doing domain registration, I'm on a new one, and I've just been having all types of issues and problems.
Listen,
Completely understand. Completely
believe me when
understand.
I say I know that sigh. I
Um,
know
Yeah.
that sigh. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do it. Kirk, I help me out this week, man. I need to upgrade my Zoom so we could do like the high resolution. I can't do the low
Oh yeah.
resolution stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
got to
We
go
want to get
back
to 1080p at a minimum. Yeah.
yeah, we want to definitely make everybody look good when they come in, and it'll be a good way to see how this integration helps with interview guests as well. Because we're always
Yeah.
trying to see how we can make the interview guests when they come in look good, and Zoom may be
Right.
a way to do that. We started with
Right.
Skype, right? You remember those Skype days?
Yeah. Skype was the Wild West.
It was the Wild West. I'm so happy that Ecamm came with their own interview stuff, and we are just kind of evolving over time as Ecamm continues to innovate with this platform. I absolutely love it. So see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the call-in show. Get your setup together. I want to see you. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Hey, this is DJ Strick, and I would like to thank you for watching another edition of The Stream Show.